Well, hello there everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video I'm going to be going over the all-new Dodge Hornet. But before we get in this video, as always, if you want to save time and money, the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. And then if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at this all-new Dodge Hornet. And first off, I really like the styling, except for the wheels. But like the hood with the vents and everything, that's such a Dodge thing to do. It kind of reminds me of what you have on the Durango. And then you guys can see here with the headlights, super aggressive. And then notice with all of the, well, not venting, but looks like venting pieces right there on the front end. You got the Dodge logo in the center, which I think is pretty cool as well. And so, you know, when it comes to like style, I think they did a really good job with the aesthetics on the Hornet. Now, what they did not do a good job with is the wheels. These wheels look horrible, and that's just me being honest about it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's with the gray, but yeah. Anyways, that Hornet logo, I thought that was pretty cool on the side, which is a nice accent. But yeah, it just looks like such an economy car with the wheels. It's like you have this beautiful styling, and then it's like, why? Just, I don't know. They could have at least made them a darker color, not silver. I mean, come on. Taillights look really cool. Notice it's got a light bar, which goes into the Dodge logo. Again, cool attention to detail right there, I would say. And of course, you got your Hornet badge and then your GT badge as well. Parking sensors there on the bottom, on top of that. And again, I think like it looks great. Yeah, it looks like a lot of other crossovers on the market, but it looks good. I think this is where I tried to open it up. Not sure if it worked or not. Looks like I didn't. That was auto show cars, right? But anyways, popping inside, this is where I was also like really impressed, honestly, is the interior with this. You guys can see really nice finish there at the top, again, considering the price point this car is at. And this is where it benefits from being built off of the same platform as the Alfa Romeo, right? Because you've got, and the interior really looks Alfa Romeo-like. Like the seats, look at that. That's not Dodge, that's Alfa Romeo, which I don't think is a bad thing because at this price point, it looks pretty good. And you can see the vents there in the center, some USB action as well. Space, it was, yeah, kind of cramped in the second row, to be honest. Not a huge cabin, but again, it's not a huge crossover. It's supposed to be more of like a fuel economy type crossover. And then same thing here with the front door panel. I mean, again, you got to remember, this is a quote-unquote more economy type car. And material use, I thought was nice. It looked really good. And especially like the speaker there for the sound system, which again surprised me. They did so much with the interior and these ugly wheels. So weird. But the front seats, again, got the Dodge logo in it, but you can tell those are Alfa Romeo seats. Like those don't look like the seats you see in like a Durango or something like that, which is fine. Pretty normal pedals. Yeah, they didn't do anything fancy there. And then light control, again, that's another thing where you can tell Alfa Romeo. And I like the stitching there. I thought that was pretty cool looking. And then the steering wheel, again, looks more Alfa Romeo than Dodge, but it looks good with the Dodge logo there. And you guys can see you've got still have the same practical controls that you're going to get. Notice it has steering assist actually with adaptive cruise control. That's a nice thing to have in like the sport mode button there on the steering wheel. And then digital gauge cluster, which obviously being an auto show car, can't really have that on. Then infotainment system, I'm guessing it'll be Alfa Romeo's unit, just kind of like retuned to work with the Hornet. And then you look at the dash, like that looks nice. Come on. And then the switch gear down below you got for like the climate controls. I like where the stop start button is. I think that's kind of fun. Then your auto stop start below that, and then you guys can see with like the charging pad and everything. I have an actual shifter, which looked pretty solid to me. And then you guys can see stuff like the volume and the parking brake and all that. And then you got stuff like the parking assist, ESC off, all that. Cup holders. And again, just notice the trim here. Again, I think it looks pretty solid. Center console, decent storage space again for the size of crossover that it is. Then you guys can see the rear view mirror. And then, I didn't think this one didn't have a sunroof there at the top. But yeah, first impression with the Hornet, outside of the wheels, I'm actually really impressed, and it makes me more excited to review one because it's a lot better than I expected, to be honest. So let me know what you guys think about the looks of this. Let's go over this all new Dodge Hornet. Let's quickly get into some of these specs with the Hornet. So first off, you're going to have a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder as the quote-unquote base powertrain for the Hornet, paired to a 9-speed automatic transmission. That's going to be good for about 265 horsepower. Now, there is also going to be an optional 1.3-liter 4-cylinder paired to a hybrid system. It's a plug-in hybrid system, and this version is going to put out 285 horsepower, and this is going to be the quote-unquote RT designation, and it's also going to have a power boost of 25 horsepower, which apparently will give it a 0 to 60 time of like 6.1 seconds. And so from a power perspective, the Hornet's actually pretty solid for the size category that's in. You got to remember, this is like the size of a Ford Escape, for example, and so those power figures are actually very competitive with the Ford Escape. And I mean, if you look at other vehicles in the segment like Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, this is way more powerful than those. So again, I still am kind of like a little bit on the fence of calling it like a muscle SUV because it's so small, but it's a muscly SUV for the segment that it competes within. Now, when it comes to pricing, the Hornet basically is going to have a price range starting somewhere in the $30,000 range, and then fully loaded, it's surely going to be over $40,000 with all of the options. And so just expect it to be somewhere within that range, which again makes sense with other vehicles in this segment. They all start right around $30,000, maybe under $30,000, and then fully loaded, they're all, around $40,000 or over $40,000. Now you guys saw all of the features there in the walk around, and something I do want to mention is that particular Hornet was kind of more of like a base model version that wasn't a loaded up one, and so that's why the wheels, for example, were so ugly. But I think there's some other cool stuff. And actually, I forgot one more thing on the hybrid powertrain. I guess we're going all over the place. 12 kilowatt hour battery pack, 30 miles of driving range. That's the last thing there with the plug-in hybrid. So it's actually a pretty solid plug-in hybrid. However, I think for most people, the one to go for will probably be just the turbocharged engine for simplicity sake. Obviously, if you plan on charging the vehicle up all the time, the plug-in hybrid is going to be great because you have that full electric driving range. But it's a Dodge with the hybrid powertrain, so like, who knows how long that thing's going to last for? I guess just keep it for this the warranty period. But anyways, what I want to talk about with the Hornet is the fact that I'm actually really impressed with it. So first off, stylistically, other than those wheels, I actually think the exterior looks really sharp. And, although I'm like still on the fence about this as a Dodge because it ultimately is just a rebadged Alfa Romeo, I think it looks cool. So for what that is, it looks cool. Now, when it comes to the interior, it's actually very nice, and this is one of the benefits of this being a rebadged Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo obviously is like a sporty luxury brand, and so you have a lot of the switchgear that Alfa Romeo uses that is put in this Dodge. So it definitely feels very Alfa Romeo-y. With that being said, though, it feels nice. Like, I reviewed that car, or filmed it on the same day that I filmed the new Ford Escape. And I can tell you right now that the new Ford Escape felt significantly cheaper compared to this Dodge Hornet. Like, there was so much more, like, just really crappy plastic throughout the Escape. And the Escape felt more like an economy car, whereas the Hornet, it felt more like a luxury car. And again, that was, like, more of a baseline Hornet. And so you'd think the Hornet with more of the bells and whistles is going to feel even better. And so I think that there's actually a pretty strong argument for the Hornet stealing quite a few sales from Ford based on, again, how this looks, the power figures that it has, and the interior that it has as well. Again, like I said, it feels a lot more upscale, and it seems like buyers in this segment that are not buying from the Japanese brands are wanting something that feels a little bit more upscale. And I think that, I know Mazda is a Japanese brand, but I think Mazda is a great example in the segment because with like the CX-5, that has a very nice upscale feeling interior, and so that's what's made it so popular. And also, it's got a strong turbocharged powertrain. And so I think the Hornet will do really well, but I want you guys to let me know what you think about the new Hornet, and if there's anything that you would change about it other than the wheels, because we all know the wheels were ugly. Anyways, I'll see ya.